In the beginning of this part, we see June looking at Jeevan from below. He then notices someone coming from behind him. He turns back and sees Yok. Yok looks at Jeevan and says Jeevan is here seeing him where she lives. June asks if he is following her. Yok tells him that he also lives in the same building. June is quite surprised to know this. The next day, Jeevan arrives at the piano academy very well prepared because she has completely recovered and can do the job now. However, the manager tells her that they no longer need a piano teacher, meaning Jeevan will have to find a job for herself again, which makes her very sad. She has already told June and Miss Jean that she got the job, so now she is embarrassed about how to tell them that she no longer has it. When she comes back to her apartment, she sees June outside and hides behind a pillar because facing June is too embarrassing for her. June asks, "Why are you hiding?" Suddenly, Jeevan gets scared looking behind him. June again asks what happened. Jeevan tells him that she did not get the job at the academy. She goes to embarrassment, but suddenly a piano is delivered to her at Realix's house. Seeing this, Jeevan gets scared but then becomes happy and says, "What's the matter? You have also bought a piano for me." June tells her that he has not bought a piano. Hearing this, Jeevan gets surprised and says, "Then who has sent it?" They ask the delivery man. The delivery man tells them that a person named Dodo Sol Sol Lala Sol has sent it. Jeevan is shocked to hear this and wonders how he knew the address here. June comes out and asks the delivery man from where the piano has been sent. Jeevan is inside. When she opens her social media account, she gets a message from the same person who says, "I hope you liked my gift. And when we meet after 2 weeks, thank me." Jeevan becomes very happy after reading this message and starts thinking about who this could be. June advises Jeevan, "Why don't you open a music academy at your home?" Jeevan likes this idea very much and says, "Okay, let's do the same, but I will pay you only half of the rent." June says, "Your financial condition is not good, and anyway, I do not have to pay rent for this house, so you do not need to worry about the rent." Then both of them start thinking about what the name of the academy should be. June suggests, "How about Lala Piano Land?" Jeevan likes this name very much. In the next scene, we see Yok, who calls Jeevan to ask about dinner. Yok had invited Jeevan to go for dinner, but Jeevan had forgotten about it. She apologizes to him and tells him that she is going to be very busy these days because she is going to open her own piano academy and she will invite Yok to the opening ceremony. After that, we see the day of the opening ceremony of the academy, where Jeevan has invited all the people she knows. Yok comes to talk to June and thanks him for letting Jeevan open the academy. June says, "I did not understand why you are thanking me." Yok says, "Because I was worried about her. Actually, I was also present at her wedding." June is surprised to know this. Then we see a man who is looking at June's house from a distance, but we are not shown his face. After the ceremony, when everyone leaves, Jeevan is looking at Yok's gift and praising Yok a lot. Hearing all this, June gets very jealous. He says, "There is so much work to clean the house and you are looking at the gifts. Come help me with the cleaning." Jeevan says, "I don't know how to clean because I was rich, so only servants used to do the work. That's why I will play the piano for you and you clean the house." June agrees to this, and then both of them start working on their respective tasks. Jeevan is very happy while playing the piano. Seeing this, June feels very good. At night, they both are talking to each other. Jeevan tells him about her parents and asks him what his parents do. June tells her that he doesn't have a family. Knowing this, Jeevan feels very bad for June, so she says, "No problem, you can consider me as your family." Hearing this, June feels good. The next day, Jeevan is distributing pamphlets for her academy when she meets Yok. Yok invites her for lunch and Jeevan agrees because she is very hungry from distributing pamphlets. Then we see June, who calls Jeevan because he has packed sandwiches for her lunch. June tells him that she is having lunch with Yok. June does not like this at all, so he disconnects the phone. Yok says to Jeevan, "I think you both are very close." Jeevan says, "You are right because I have borrowed a lot of money from him." Yok says, "If it is so, then you can borrow money from me too and repay June's loan," but Jeevan refuses and says that she will only take money from June because she feels comfortable with him. In the next scene, the police find a dead body on the beach. After searching the dead body, they find an ID card, but the boy's face is not visible on it. Nor is the full name visible, only half of the name is written as June. After some time, the officer calls Miss Kim because her son June has been missing for 6 months. The officer tells Miss Kim that they have found a dead body on the beach, and they think it might be her son. Miss Kim is shocked after hearing this. When Jeevan reaches home at night, she finds a gift kept inside a bag at the gate. Jeevan thinks that the gift has been given by June, so she messages him. Thank you. June asks if she found any students, but Jeevan does not reply, so June assumes that she must have fallen asleep. The next day, Jeevan gets back to work. She is pasting pamphlets everywhere. Jeevan is working hard, but June is not happy to see that she is not getting even a single student. When Jeevan returns to the academy, June gives her an envelope with money inside and says, "This is my fee. I want to join the academy." Jeevan becomes very happy and emotional after hearing this and says, "I am your first student." When she goes to hug June, June moves back a little. At the same time, Yok also comes there and tells Jeevan that he too wants to join the academy. Jeevan asks him if he has ever played the piano, and Yok tells her that he has never. Jeevan plays some tunes for him and shows him how to play. Then she asks Yok to try. Yok sits down and starts playing the piano. Seeing Yok play, Jeevan understands that he knows how to play the piano very well. She tells him the same thing and asks why he lied. Yok explains that he wanted to help Jeevan find a student, so he did this. He then plays a song that Jeevan likes a lot. After taking lessons from Jeevan, Yok drops her home at night. And June does not like this at all. It seems that Yok knows how to play the piano, but he pretends he doesn't, which makes June very upset. As a result, he practices the piano all night. The next day, June is also very upset at work because every day after the lesson, Yok drops Jeevan off at home. When June is coming back home, he hears the sound of the piano. He becomes very happy, thinking that Jeevan has come to his house. He goes inside and finds that Jiwon has given him a tiffin containing food that Miss Jin has prepared for him. As it starts raining at night, both of them enjoy the rain from the window. It is already late, so Life says, "Now I should go." "Do you have an umbrella?" June has 2 umbrellas, but only one. He brings her an umbrella and says, "Come on, I will drop you home." Then Yok messages Jeevan, saying he is about to come home and will give her a ride. Yok asks her to wait for a while, and Jeevan tells the same thing to June. She is there and says that she will wait for Yok because she does not want to disturb June. After waiting for some time, Yok reaches there and starts leaving while calling him bye. Suddenly, there is a strong lightning strike that causes June to walk. When June remembers something, he asks Jeevan not to go. Seeing June's face, Jeevan asks what happened, and then June takes control of himself and says, "Please don't go." Jeevan is quite surprised. We see that Jeevan is calling June to come by bike. Suddenly, there is strong lightning, which makes June remember some old memories, and he gets very scared. Seeing his face, Jeevan says, "What happened? Are you okay?" June suddenly clings to Jeevan and says, "Please don't leave me." Jeevan is quite surprised by this and says, "June, what has happened?" June then steps back and apologizes for taking her for granted and says, "After today, when you leave, don't ever call me to come by bike." Jeevan says, "Okay, I will not say it." June says, "Now I am fine, so you can go. Yok will be waiting for you." Looking at June, Jeevan understands that he is not well at this time. In the next scene, we see Jeevan going with Yok, but she is thinking about June only. She is worried about him, so she asks Yok to stop the car. Yok asks, "Where are you going?" Jeevan says, "I have some work. You go. I will come in some time." Jeevan leaves with an umbrella. She comes back to June's house and sees June playing the guitar, and he is playing very well. Jeevan is surprised to see what happens. June is surprised to see Jeevan there and asks why she didn't go home. Jeevan says, "Because I want to be with you. I was worried about you." Hearing this, June feels very good. She comes and sits near June and starts praising him, saying that he plays the guitar very well. June says, "I am not that good, but I had a friend who played very well." Jeevan says, "June, if you have any sorrow, you can tell me. Sharing your sorrow does not reduce it, but it definitely gives some relief, so you can share your sorrow with me." June feels very good after hearing all this. We see Yok, who is thinking about Jeevan, wondering why she left like this and what is going on. June and Jeevan sit and talk to each other a lot, and while talking, Jeevan falls asleep. June covers her with a blanket and sits near her, looking at her. The next day, when Jeevan wakes up, June is not at home. June has left breakfast on the table for Jeevan, seeing which she becomes very happy and eats it with pleasure. Then we see June, who comes to meet Mr. Park. He is staying at Mr. Park's house. Mr. Park is working, and June says, "You are of age, so now you should leave work and rest." Mr. Park says, "Earlier you used to be very quiet, but now you have started talking a lot and smiling too. Do you like that girl so much?" June says, "There is nothing like that." Then June gets a call from Jeevan. Mr. Park starts smiling. Jeevan thanks him for the breakfast. June then asks, "Did you read the memo I had left?" Jeevan reads the memo, which says to clean the floor, wash the dishes, and make the bed as well. Jeevan says, "You fed me so that I could do all this work." June says, "I am very busy," and disconnects the phone. Mr. Park asks June how the piano academy is going, and June says, "It is not going well right now, but it will start moving slowly." After that, we see Miss Kim, who has come to the police station. The dead body found on the beach was not that of her son, so she asks the officer to quickly find June. Miss Jin is chilling out with her friends when she learns that a student has come to her academy. When she goes to the academy, we find out that the student is Mr. Park. Jeevan remembers that this old man had asked her to play a song. Mr. Park says, "I want to learn to play the same music which I had asked you to play a few days ago." At that time, Miss Jin comes there, and Jeevan learns that Mr. Park owns the building. She is shocked to know this. After that, we see Sang-ji and Hyang returning home after giving the exam. Here we come to know that Sang-ji likes Hyang since childhood. But Hyang notices that he is sitting across from June and is looking at June. June comes to him and asks, "What are you doing here?" Yuk says, "Are you okay? Because yesterday Jeevan told me that you are ill, but seeing you working here, it seems that you have completely recovered." June says, "I have not recovered because I was not even ill." Yuk is surprised to know this. Then Yuk gets a call from someone, so he goes away. Actually, his ex-wife Yoon has come to meet Yuk. Here they both talk a lot. Yoon learns from Yuk that he is taking piano classes, and the piano tutor is a girl. This makes Yoon curious about who the girl is and what she looks like. So when Yuk goes to piano classes, Yoon follows him. Because of Miss Jin, Yoon is unable to see Jeevan. But Yoon learns from Miss Jin that the piano tutor is very beautiful. After the piano lesson, Yuk asks Jeevan out for dinner, and Jeevan says yes. He takes her to June's cafe, and they meet there. Gigi and Hyang are also present, so all four of them sit and eat together. All four of them are talking to each other, and Yuk tells them that he was very good in studies and was very good in everything. All three of them think that Yuk must have a girlfriend. Then Yuk tells them that he was married, but now he has been divorced, hence he is single at the moment. Knowing this, all three of them are shocked. Then, when everyone is going home, Jeevan and Yuk are talking to each other and smiling a lot, which June does not like at all. Meanwhile, Ha-young is about to express her feelings to June, seeing which Ji makes an excuse that he has to go to the bathroom and takes June with him, causing Ha-young's plan to fail. When Ha-young and Jeevan reach home, a man is seen from downstairs looking at their house, but his face is not shown. Then we see June at home. He is trying to talk to Jeevan, but is not able to understand what message he should send her, so he gathers courage and calls her directly. Jeevan tells June that her car has been repaired, so she has to go to get the car tomorrow. June is feeling very sad while saying goodnight to Jeevan, which makes Jeevan laugh a lot. The next day, Miss Kim meets the man she loves. She has assigned him the task of finding June. His name is David. Miss Kim overhears David and tells him to quickly find June. She gives David some money and leaves. Then we see Jeevan, who is going to buy coffee. When she arrives, she meets David. David is looking at the pamphlet of the academy, so Jeevan feels that this man is interested and asks him to join the academy. David says, "Okay, I will think about it," and leaves. June had also seen them both talking, so he tells Jeevan that it is not a good thing to talk to strangers and to never do this again. Then Jeevan and June come to the garage to take the car. Jeevan says that she will stay with this car for one day and then sell it the next day. When Jeevan asks June to drive, June tells her that he does not have a license, so Jeevan drives the car and drops June off at work. That night, Jeevan sleeps in her car because she has become very attached to it. The next day, Jeevan comes to sell her car. All the paperwork is done and everything is ready, but Jeevan does not feel like signing. She does not want to sell the car, but she has no other option. Just as she is about to sign the paper, June comes there and stops her. He does not let Jeevan sell the car. He tells her that she can take as much time as she wants and return the money whenever she wants. Hearing this, Jeevan becomes very happy. Then June says, "But I have a condition: you have to be my driver and take me anywhere I need to go." Jeevan does not refuse and agrees to it. They both go to a place from where a beautiful view of the city is visible. Here, June says, "I stopped you from selling the car because I know how it feels to lose something precious." He also tells Jeevan that the friend he mentioned is dead. He becomes very emotional. Jeevan says, "If you feel like crying, you should cry because it lightens the burden of the mind." Hearing this, June starts crying a lot, and seeing him cry, Jeevan also starts crying. The next day, Yok has come to the hospital in Seoul for some work and meets his friend there who works in the same hospital. Yok sees a photo of June on the wall of the hospital, so he asks his friend if he knows him. His friend tells him that June is the only son of the director and wants to become a doctor because he is very good in studies. Currently, he is in the 12th grade. Yok is shocked to know all this. Yok remembers that he once bumped into June, which is why he seemed familiar to him. Then we see Jeevan and June together again. Jeevan feels that June's height has increased a little, so she starts checking his height, wondering how it could increase at his age. Jeevan is very close to June, which makes her very uncomfortable. In the process of checking the height, Jeevan feels that she is about to fall, but June catches her. Both of them are very close to each other and are looking at each other, and this is where this part ends. So guys, how did you like this part? Do tell me by commenting, like or dislike the video as per your wish, and if you are new to the channel, then subscribe to the channel. I will meet you in the next video. Take care, bye bye.